Afternoon, everybody. Well, here I am once again. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. And here will be talk about what I believe is going on since the big win. Yay, the big win. Lots is happening at the moment. A lot of changes. And there's a lot of concerted attacks on Jeremy Corbyn and John McDonnell by the UK media. A sitting Prime Minister, academia, economists, LP, PLP reveal that the UK ruling capitalist class and supporters, including New Labour, are terrified of the working class and terrified of an increasingly aware working class fighting for socialist policies within the historically capitalist class UK Parliament. The stakes in Labour Party leadership contest are historical. Jeremy Corbyn is within the process of creating the Labour Party as the instrument of change within the UK Parliament for use of UK working class. That process will sweep away all remnants of New Labour. UK policies will get very interesting as all these changes occur when many working class participate in Labour Party constituencies and enter the selection process to become Labour MPs. Yesterday's post, I posted a quote which said, "A country which forces our children and disabled and unemployed rather, into poverty in order to cut taxes for millionaires is morally bankrupt and has no future." My response was, that's because the better off vote for what they believe suits them most. They're taught by the media is their taxes go to the poor. So they think voting these types of government in who give less taxes to the most well off is better for them. Ordinary people think of themselves as well off, but there are those few thousand who are looking after the most who get to tax dodge because of loopholes. Those type of leaders allow this because they're all in it too. In the Huffington Post, as Shami Chakrabarti warns Labour MPs who mugged Jeremy Corbyn in cold blood should now back him. Former Shadow Communities Secretary John Healey warned that Corbyn had to now give MPs a say over his shadow cabinet to prove he means it when he says about unifying the party. Healey, who has been tipped for a return to the front bench, insisted that the leader would send a powerful message, or should send a powerful message, if shadow cabinet elections were restored to today's meeting of the ruling National Executive Committee. This was yesterday, not today. It would challenge Labour MPs to respond, respect his re-election and support the front bench team, Healey wrote. Above all, it will be a powerful public declaration that Labour is coming together with a new purpose. But with certain individuals like Tom Watson still amongst the party, the Huffington Post also reveals that leaked emails reveal that Tom Watson planned to isolate and weaken Jeremy Corbyn and crush the life out of his leadership. With a further sign of distrust in the party, extracts from those internal party emails claim that the deputy leader has been operating a so-called Project Anaconda with shadow cabinet reforms and wider NEC proposals. Project Anaconda would involve isolating and weakening Jeremy Corbyn and ultimately crushing the life out of his leadership, one email claimed. Of course, Tom Watson denies this, but the email can be seen on Twitter. I've seen it myself from the Huffington Post. It said every concession Jeremy Corbyn makes will be used to tighten the grip. Now, there's currently a petition out to show a vote of no confidence in Tom Watson. I myself has signed that, and so he will right now surely see the writings on the wall for him, and we will see that he will up the ante on this and do more slurring, more stirring of Jeremy in the media now. Jeremy Corbyn met PLP Chairman John Cryer and Shadow Chief Whip ahead of the NEC meeting before the election results were given, though some insiders claim that Deputy Tom Watson has been shut out of talks. I do hope we see some big changes there, because Tom Watson has been the person really that has been instigating a large amount of stirring. We can see that that's the case. There's been the good guy there, and there's been the villain hissing somewhere. That's been seen to be quite a few of those as well right now, all going, underlyingly going, undermining the leader. Tom Watson has been most vocal, but I'm sure there's very many quiet villains lurking in the shadows too. And I've heard now that Tom Watson is not happy that bullies are calling out for his resignation with a vote, as I said, no confidence. Whilst true Labour MP Shadow Secretary for Energy is on the ball, as the Blairite MPs and Tories have sneaked through a billion fracking under national billion deal. I don't know how many billions a deal, fracking under the national parks. Barry Gardiner said that the party would not support fracking, promoting the ire of GMB, who warned it would leave Britain dependent on foreign regimes run by hangmen and head choppers. Now, I know this one would be a battle, as I saw how some MPs defected over the pro-fracking, over to pro-fracking Owen Smith when that became an issue, and especially when Jeremy Corbyn made it clear that he didn't actually support this, and he didn't support the nuclear energy either. He's really into wanting a more greener outlook on energy, and as I've said in my other thing, the other video, he's looking into the sciences behind free energy, because we know everybody knows it's a possibility, and but that it's all been hidden because they like to make money. They've got to make money out of us, and make money by selling us energy. And on the Nye Bevan site, I shared a post which quoted Tony Benn. It said, "Members of Parliament are lent the powers to govern. It is the only job where there is one employee and 40,000 bosses." A heart-wrenching, thought-provoking piece which explains how we have been subjected to so much negativity and criticism for decades. So when we read of the sincerity, empathy and kindness of others, it can make us stagger and falter. Having read this, I realise that I don't want to simply wait for change. I truly want to be a part of it. There are many good people, and I'm thankful to know many of them. We are mirrors of each other, and we attract to us what we are. I feel proud that I see everything I'd like to see in my friends, but sometimes I see fear, and I realise some of that is in me too. I know I have people complaining about my videos where I'm supportive of someone who is another politician, because of course so many before have shown us that this is exactly what we don't want. We've seen historically America as well, all wave their flags. This is the new change. Obama's the great man. Every single time there's a new election, uproar, absolutely, this is it, this is going to change everything, and then then it all goes back to the same. So to be continuing to hold up systems that holds up and provides loopholes for multi-millionaires, we are now looking at somebody that is not going to be allowing these things to happen. This is somebody that is very, very different. And what gets me is the thousands who remain silent, like the silent MPs. We don't know what they really think until one jumps ship, and they all jump ship like rats. Here I'm speaking up and saying what I think, and I know that on my videos there's people that are trolling me, and I'm getting slated by those trolls. And as I've said, what do people like what do people like this who attack those who speak up for speaking up with their version of how it is should be, instead of using their voice to attack people for speaking up as they see it, shouldn't they be making their own videos and speaking up on theirs? How will people just stopping supporting politicians happen? And what would that achieve? Because I've been somebody that has not voted all these years, and now suddenly I've decided, this man is the man that I want to vote for. You just have to realise that the reason why Jeremy Corbyn got into politics was because he felt helpless in the position of simply holding up placards and shouting, "We don't want to have to vote politicians, and we want our voices heard." How do you get those voices heard? Attacking people who are speaking up. Shall I tell you, you speak up in your own space, in your own videos. That's what you need to do, like I'm doing right now. You all have to get into this position to make that difference. This man, Jeremy Corbyn, has worked his way to this position, and his intention is clear. He wants to give the people a voice, give the people back their power. But the MPs are fighting to keep that power for themselves. If all of this that's happening isn't waking people up to Jeremy Corbyn's intentions, I really do despair. In addition, people attacking Corbyn will not bring about the outcome they desire for a free parliament. It will cause the very man who wants to help us to be heard to be bludgeoned into oblivion, allowing the Blairite MPs to get their way, and the Tories, worst of all, to get their way. As for me, I'm not impressed with anyone trying to get at me through commenters on my videos with abuse, about my looks, about my makeup, about anything. This person should be ignored. If he wants to get his views across, get your views across, show your face, speak up for yourself. Tell them to do what I'm doing and make a video for yourself. But people like this are too afraid to put a face to their words. They function under fake profiles and attack all that I don't agree with. Personal abuse. I don't agree with anybody attacking each other. Let's remember, I'm not responsible for how MPs behave, because I put my hope in someone I see as having fought for human rights and for people power all his life. I want to give that one person one shot at doing this. And as people who never ever voted their whole life, just like me, I think not voting for him won't actually get us anywhere. It's never got us anywhere before, so how is it ever going to get us anywhere by just, refusing to vote at all? So back to this article. Let's be realistic. How do you channel 40,000 individual beliefs and goals through one person? Do you know the answer? Because I don't. I don't think anyone can have their own way. Collectivism requires common goals and compromise. I want to pursue the political goals Jeremy Corbyn is advocating. Whilst I read others say that they would be happier knowing that they were backing a political party that has the potential to win an election and stop all this skullduggery Tories practice when the multimillionaires they serve are the tiny majority. They're serving those, and it all filters down to the people below them. But when we're serving the top, ultimately the people at the bottom are suffering horribly. So where is that coming from? Within our own party, because some don't like one man. And it's time to grow up. They were telling us that, all of us wanting to vote for Jeremy was about personalities and not policies. How wrong you are, how wrong you are. And now when it's come to be the other way around, now we're looking at people that are, going. What for? Because they don't like the policies? Because the policies are Labour policies. So why would people be leaving now? Are they leaving because of the very thing that they've been saying that we would be voting him for, because they don't like the personality? I don't understand why anybody would not like that personality anyway. I really don't, because he's such a kind and gentle and good, decent human being. Why do we want to keep voting horrible people into power? Why do we want these people that lie? We know that lie. We know sell arms to, to inhumane countries. We know all of this. So why do we want those people as leaders and not the good, decent people? It's time to grow up. Thousands go to work every day and have to work for the most sleazy, nasty, angry bosses every day because they don't have a choice. If they don't, their family don't get fed. Now Jeremy Corbyn is hardly that, is he? One thing that is clear, given the lies about polls and Owen Smith's absolute belief he would 100% win this, is seems blindingly obvious to say that social media has invigorated socialism. Another great thing said on that particular article is that it is a slander on the people of the island to say that they want something for nothing. They don't, really don't, nor have they ever. I've now no longer tolerating any dismissal of the plight of the working class in this country. If they have a problem, you or they, the MPs, need to be the ones that are listening. They are the ones that are serving. And I've sat and watched Jeremy Corbyn amongst groups of people, and he's listened and he's listened and he's taking it in what they're saying. One lady spoke of carers, people like me, and I've heard those words, carers are valuable. They're valuable to the government. They save the government thousands by caring at home. Where would those people who need carers go to if they didn't have the carers there doing that job? And it is a job, and it's a hard job. It's a very difficult job to do, to be a carer every day of your life. But it's not seen as a job. Caring isn't seen as a job. It's seen as another scrounger on the dole. Carers are treated the same as everyone who is choosing not to go to work. And not that I ever believe that there's anybody that actually chooses it. They may have their different reasons for not being in work, but I don't think anybody actually chooses it. Certainly, living on the pittance that you get couldn't possibly be a choice. Nobody wants that for themselves or their children or their families. And one other part I must quote from this post is, we work together united because we have relearned the ancient lesson the people have learnt many times. When we don't stand together, the political class turn the screws on us. The flood of messages we have received only confirms that people are hurting. Isn't that right? The greatest part of it all is the writer has been given away vast sums of money to people who need it. A quote by Malcolm Muggeridge goes like this: "It is difficult to resist the conclusion that 20th century man has decided to abolish himself. Tired of the struggle to be himself, he has created boredom out of his own affluence, importance out of his own erotima, and vulnerability out of his own strength. He himself blows the trumpet that brings the walls of his own cities crashing down, until at last, having educated himself into imbecility, having drugged and polluted himself into stupefaction, he keels over a weary old brontosaurus and becomes extinct." We should add egomania there too. And with the egomania, let's talk about Donald Trump promising Israel, Jerusalem. His hatred for Muslims would continue the genocide of Palestinians. And so, as thousands of Americans will vote Donald Trump, will they know they're voting for more of this genocide to be created by their own hands? Thousands will still be agreeing with the same genocide that killed the Native Americans. Thousands are still plugging into a system matrix, the war matrix. It makes me really sad. It makes me scared. He has a lot of control over the media too, and I feel that we will get things will get worse. And this is sacred land, and it should not be just given away along with any political agenda. They have no rights to do this. But when thinking philosophically, where we live in a world where people are so intent on seeking for what's wrong in the world, they create so much pain and weakness and forget to seek for what's right and create more of that. In this world, there are angels, and I know because I know many of them by name and by hugs. I know that there are good people who do great things, and I am in awe of them all. What if we all choose to give something away today, even if it's a hug or a smile or a fiver here or there if you can afford it? We could all do our bit, and that's what socialism is really about. So let's unite and start making a difference countrywide and worldwide. Every one of you I've touched with my words. Know you're loved. Let's keep up the shadow creatures, keep the shadow creatures and the shadows in the shadows where they belong, and let the light shine from the people of light that we know who they are. It's time to lift the light in them into the open by recognizing who they are and letting them know who you are. So, anybody that's got anything to say it for yourselves. Put your face to your voice out there like I'm doing. We all need to do, get our voices out, get ourselves recognized and heard, and it's not that scary. Be brilliant, be your own light, shine, shine. Love to all anyway. Thank you again. Namaste. Bye.